Hey everyone, it's Paige Royal of Pure Vita Performance, your cycling, nutrition, and mindset coach and coach to the Pure Vita Mavericks, and I'm coming to you today to talk about bikes. So today we're actually specifically talking about pedals. So I had a really amazing question come in from a woman named Trish. Thank you, Trish. And I'm just going to read that for you. Okay, so I have a few friends that are considering touring pedals, SPD cleat on one side and platform on the other. Yes, no, maybe, advantages or disadvantages. The area we live in is a lot of stopping and starting before we get to rural areas, so clipping and unclipping is a pain, and they're also new to cycling, so fear can take over as well. So I'm going to address every single comment in this question, so make sure you stay tuned to the end. So I want to preface this firstly by saying I'm going to give you some advice here, and I'm going to give you some options, advantages, disadvantages, but ultimately it's up to you and what makes you feel safe. So you need to make a decision from your confidence level at this point, and I'm going to tell you about the progressions of pedals, the different kinds of pedals out there, and why not. So firstly, one of the disadvantages of, well, we'll talk advantages of the touring pedal. So just to give you an idea of what this is a picture of a touring pedal. So there is the part you can clip into, and then this is, if you were to flip this over, it would just be a flat side of a pedal. So the advantage of this is if you were thinking about wearing running shoes a lot, most of the time, then that would be a great advantage to having the touring pedal. And if it's a purely comfort thing, then, and the confidence isn't there yet, then you can go for this pedal, but I do have another solution to it. So some of the disadvantages of riding with these pedals is because they have to be a bit wider. There is a clearance issue. So when you're rounding a corner, you could catch a corner when you're cornering. If you're not intending to lean the bike in very much, then this may not be an issue, but that is a fact. The second thing is the weighting issue. So when it comes to a mountain bike pedal, which I'll just show you here what one of them looks like. I'm going to go through them later, but this is a Shimano SPD. You can get in on both sides of that pedal. So that is the advantage of a mountain bike pedal. When it comes to a road pedal, and when I'm talking about weighting, is that no matter what way I turn that pedal, it's always going to come and face this way down so that it's ready for your shoe to come in and clip in. So you're never going to catch it like this. It's weighted so that it's ready for you to clip in. However, you can only get in on one side with this. Okay, so the advantages of riding with a road pedal and a mountain bike pedal is mountain bike pedal you can get in on two sides. The road pedal, it's weighted so that you are ready to get in the first clip. But that doesn't always happen, right? So this is where the lack of confidence comes in. So the types of pedals, there's a gazillion different types of pedals out there. So I'm just going to show you a few here. So we've already seen the touring pedal, which is clipping in on one side, flat on the other. Then we have the mountain bike SPD. This is also a mountain bike SPD, but it has a cage around it. So this could be a really great alternative if you're wanting to wear running shoes. You could be wearing this, and then days that you ride in your flip-flops to the beach or in your running shoes to the store, or just want to wear running shoes one day, your foot can cover that. It has more of a platform. There's also speed play. So this is another type of way to clip in, and it just has a little circle. So it has a different cleat that you put on the bottom of your shoe. And then also we have egg beaters. So these are Crank Brothers, and this is actually the first pedal that I used when or maybe it was the second pedal that I used on my road bike. They were really pink, and some of them don't have this cage around them, so it's just like the egg beater. So that's just a few of the different types of pedals. So firstly, I want to just talk about riding in traffic. Riding in traffic is just like hills. You may or may not like what I'm going to say here, but it is a part of the ride, so you just have to get used to that. And what better way to get clipping in than doing lots of in and out. So it is a pain in the butt, but it will make you really good at clipping in and clipping out. The next thing I want to say is the biggest misconception is that you have to get clipped in right away. So a lot of the anxiety happens when you can't get clipped in and you're in the middle of an intersection, or you're trying to get clipped in going up a slight hill. Just remember that your foot can still come down on the pedal and rest on it, even though you can't get clipped in. So you can still press that pedal around and get yourself through the intersection, and then worry about getting into the pedal after you're through. You can still press down on it though. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. And then the progression. So if you are new to riding and this is, freaking you out and you're a little bit anxious about it, then what I would suggest, your first best move would be to get mountain bike pedals. So you can get the one that has the cage around the outside so that you feel like if you wanted to wear running shoes, you could at some point. Still not super duper comfortable as like a flat pedal, just saying, but you have the cage around there, but this will still stick up a bit. I've done this all, so I've ridden in running shoes and flip-flops and everything like that with actually these, because I used to have these on my mountain bike. Or you could get these ones. So the advantage of these is that you can get in on both sides. So that alleviates some of the anxiety. And then just remembering that you don't have to get in on the first clip. And yeah, it's frustrating, but you will get better at it. And one day you won't even be thinking about it. I promise you. That is if you're riding your bike a lot, right? So at least 3 times a week. And then, so because you're getting the mountain bike pedals, you're going to have to get mountain bike type shoes, which mountain bike and road shoes actually look a lot similar now. And then once you're ready to get new shoes, then you're probably going to be in 3 years time or so, 2 or 3 years time, you're going to be really comfortable riding clipped in, and you may want to think about graduating to the road pedal with a road shoe. And the advantages of the road pedal with the road shoe, I'll just pull this, actually I have it in real life, is that it's just a bigger platform to push down on. So you're getting more power through the pedals versus, just having this little knobby guy on there. So I think I've covered, there's one thing I'm thinking that I'm forgetting, but I can do another video about that. But yeah, so again, your advantages to having the touring pedal is if you want to be wearing running shoes a lot, then you could go for that. But the next best alternative, if you're new to riding, would be to get a mountain bike pedal, either just the knobby one or the one with the platform around it. And the disadvantages of having the pedals is that you're not, one of the actually disadvantages of having the touring pedals, which I forgot to mention, is that you will not know if you're wearing your clip-in shoes, like that you're going to be clipping in on your touring pedals that day. You will not know because it's not weighted like the road pedal, and you can't get in on both sides. So you're going to be flicking around that thing to try and find how to clip in. And what that's going to actually do is you're going to end up looking down at your foot through an intersection or wherever and not be paying attention because you're trying to find what side to get in on. So that's another really big disadvantage of those pedals. And so with all that said, what I would do as a beginner rider, if the confidence isn't there, if you want to go for it with road pedals, go for it. But if the confidence isn't there yet, mountain bike pedals all the way. Traffic lights, sorry, it's a part of the ride, right? Annoying as it is, pedals, a touring pedal isn't necessarily going to help that. Because you're going to be, especially if you're wearing the shoes that you want to clip in with those pedals, if you're just wearing your running shoes with them, yes, that would be the way to go. But I really do encourage you to clip in because you're only getting, one-ish parts of the pedal stroke when you're wearing your running shoes. And when you're clipped in, you're getting the other 3 parts of the pedal stroke. And I go over all of this in Rock Your Ride Body and Mind with all of these. I have a whole bunch of women signed up this time. So I also just want to mention that There's 2 days left to get in on that. So make sure you check out the link. And I will post it below this video, and get yourself signed up, because we are going to have some fun talking about the pedal stroke and preparing ourselves for this cycling season. All right, so I hope that was of help today in answering that question, and I will catch you guys again soon. Mwah. Bye.